to making videos. I know it's been quite a long time and I do apologize. It's just been super crazy with finals and getting ready to graduate and everything, but I'm finally done school and I graduate this coming weekend, so I am just very excited to finally be done with my nursing degree and now just have to worry about licensure and everything. So at least I'm done school and have a little bit more time to film for you guys. So today I wanted to start off my filming with showing you my Inglot collection. And I honestly don't have a lot. I have a lot of eyeshadows, but I don't have a lot like collectively of the whole brand. But I got asked a while ago by a subscriber of mine to do a video showing you guys my Inglot collection. So I figured I would just do it. It would be a fun little video to show you guys everything that I have. And I did purchase everything myself, and this isn't to brag about how much that I have. I just really love Inglot and I'd like to show you guys what I have, and maybe you guys will find stuff that you like too throughout this video. So if you'd like to see my Inglot collection, then please stay tuned. Okay, so to first start off, I have 3 eyeshadow palettes from Inglot. And the first one that I have is a 10-pan palette, and that's what it looks like there. And my favorite eyeshadow out of this entire palette is this one right here. And it's number 372, and it's actually what I kind of based my YouTube name off of. And it's just a very pretty teal color. And as you can see, I mean, these shadows are so incredibly pigmented, and this one is a matte finish. And that's just what a bigger swatch of it looks like there. They're just very pretty eyeshadows, and I'll show you a couple of the other ones that I really like. So this purpley one here is Pearl number 423, and it's just kind of like a deep brown purple color. And it does have, it's kind of like a satin finish, so that's what that looks like there. And then this peach colored one is Pearl number 407. And it's right there. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it's just kind of a very pretty peach color. And the next one that is one of my favorites is AMC Shine number 08, and it's this one here, and I love this shadow as a inner corner highlight, as a brow bone highlight, and I've even used it on my cheekbones, and it's right there. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but it kind of reminds me of Mary Luminizer from The Balm. It has that same kind of color. It's a little bit more golden, but it's very, very pretty. So those are some of my favorites from that palette that I have there. And the next palette that I have is a 20-pan palette, and I have more of my purples, my kind of reds and corals, and some oranges, and some yellows and greens in this one here. I tried to organize the 2 larger palettes by color just to make it a little bit easier to find what I was looking for. But I really do love like the bright colors that are in this palette. It's just, it draws me to it all the time. And 2 of my favorites are these 2 here, and I actually like using them for blushes. They are these 2. This one is matte number 366, and this one is matte number 361. And there are those 2 there. I really like using 361 as a blush. It's just a very pretty kind of lighter pink. And 366 is like a coral. It's kind of like a perfect coral color. It's just very, very pretty. And these are both matte finishes too. So another favorite of mine from this palette is this one here, and this is DS number 495. And this is just a very pretty kind of raspberry pink color, and it has a lot of sparkle. I don't know if you guys are able to see the sparkle in it, but it's just a very pretty kind of raspberry color. And the next one that I really, really like is this matte purple here. It's showing up a little bit more blue on camera, but it's matte number 379. And this one is just kind of a very unique purple. It almost has like a lilac-y lavender hint to it, but it's just very, very pretty. And as I said, this one is a matte as well. Now for the big guns, this one is my 40-pan palette. And I kind of wanted to organize this one with more of my browns and my blues in here, and also my greens. So this is what it looks like with everything in there. And I have a ton of favorite shadows from this palette, and I really need to start using this more, but I just really love the diversity of the shadows that I have in here. One of my favorites is this one here, and it is matte number 340, and this is actually a dupe for MAC's Plumage or Plumage. This one is a little bit darker, but it's a very, very deep, dark blue-green color. And I don't like plumage or plumage at all from MAC. The one that I have is very, very hard and I don't get really any color payoff. But as you can see here, this one is just really, really opaque and pigmented, and it's just a fantastic deep blue teal color. So if you are looking for something that is similar to plumage from MAC, I would try out this one. And again, this is matte number 340 from Inglot. Another favorite of mine is this kind of like cornflower blue color. And this is matte number 388. And it shows up a little bit brighter on camera than it actually is, but it's really a true cornflower blue. And that's what it looks like there. My next favorite out of this palette is this one here. This is a very pretty teal color, and it's AMC Shine number 32. And it's just a very pretty teal with kind of like a satiny type finish. That's what it looks like there. And then I know that these two are kind of a little bit boring, but I find that they're great for using to blend out the crease or as highlight colors, and they are matte. This one is matte number 390, and this one is matte number 350. 350 is kind of similar to Brulee from MAC, which is one of my absolute favorite highlighters, so I'm definitely going to be using this one more once Brulee runs out, because I'm almost out of it, but that's what it looks like there. It's just a nice skin tone color. And for a darker version, and this is 390 here, and I don't even know if you guys can see that because it pretty much matches my skin tone. And that would be great like for me to blend out and you wouldn't really even see the color, so it would be great for using in the crease. So if you have a similar skin tone to mine, this would be another great neutral shadow for you. And the last kind of favorite I guess I have from this palette is this one here, and it's a black, and it's DS number 498, and it's just a very deep black with a lot of sparkle. And I think it's similar to Black Tide from MAC. So that's what it looks like there. I don't know if you guys can see the sparkle in it, but I don't have Black Tide, but from what I've seen, and I've looked at Black Tide in the store, this is pretty similar. I think it has a little less of like the chunky glitter sparkle than Black Tide has, but this one is very, very pretty. So what I really like about the Inglot shadows are that they are extremely pigmented. I have not used eyeshadows like this before, and I find that they are so much more pigmented than the MAC shadows, and they're at a fraction of the cost. I believe they're around $5 if you get the Freedom system. I believe it's around $5 or $6. But the only thing with them is that they tend to be very powdery, so you have to make sure to tap off your brush to avoid fallout. So that's the only downfall, I guess, is that they are very powdery, but the pigmentation definitely outweighs that for me. And I find them very easy to use and very easy to blend, and I love mixing the different finishes because it makes for a more dimensional and just well put together look. And I definitely need to start using these shadows more because I've been neglecting them a little bit, but they're definitely worth the money, so I would check them out if you guys haven't tried them, or if you'd like to build your collection up. Feel free to ask me numbers of any of these shadows that I have if you liked certain ones in certain palettes, but they're just definitely well worth it. And if you live near a store, it's better than buying them online, but you can find amazing swatches. I know Temptalia has swatches, I think, of pretty much all of Inglot's shadows on her website, and I found a whole bunch of swatches. I just googled it, and that's kind of how I determined which shadows I wanted to get that I didn't end up buying in store. I think that these shadows here were the only ones I actually purchased in store. I got them in New York. So besides that, everything else I got online. And another thing is the palettes themselves. I guess this is going to turn into a little mini review, but the palettes are actually very, very sturdy. And the only thing is that this magnet is very strong and you can pinch yourself with it, so you just have to be careful. And the only other thing that kind of drives me nuts is trying to get the shadows out. It's very, very difficult to get the shadows out once you have them in, so I actually reorganized all of them. They were all in different orders in my palettes, and it took forever because you kind of have to like pry them out from the side. And I don't know if you noticed in the teal that I showed you in the larger palette, it did have a dig in it, and that was from trying to get it out. So that's the only downside, is that they're very, very difficult to get out, and that also leads me to why I have all of the labels on the back. It's because in order to see whatever shadow you're using, it's just easiest to label them on the back of the palette, because it's going to be quite a pain to try and get these shadows out of the palette once they're in there. So just a little heads up and to forewarn you, if you haven't used Inglot shadows before, those are kind of the downsides of the packaging of the palettes themselves and the shadows. So the last 4 things that I have are all eyeliners. Like I said, I don't really have a lot of diverse things from Inglot. I mostly just have the eyeshadows and then these eyeliners. So I will go through the ones that I have, and the first one is the infamous black. It is number 77. And all of their eyeliners, their gel eyeliners, are matte, which I absolutely love. And they're also waterproof, which is fantastic. And they really do stay on the waterline. I love using this black on the waterline because it literally stays all day. And another thing that I like is that it doesn't tend to run into the inner corner if I do put it on the waterline. And some other eyeliners do tend to do that, so that's why I really like to use this one for my waterline. And this is what the black looks like there. It is very, very pigmented. I'll swatch on the back of my hand for you. Right there. The next one that I have is number 79, and this is a kind of deeper red color. And this is what it looks like there. It's kind of like a true blood red with like a little bit of an orangey undertone to it, but that's what it looks like there. The next one that I have is number 75, which is a pretty eggplant purple color. And that's what it looks like there. And I absolutely love this eyeliner. It's just a very deep purple color. And the last eyeliner that I have is number 87, which is my favorite eyeliner besides the black. And this is just a very pretty teal, and it's kind of similar to number 372, that eyeshadow that I first showed you. And this is what that one looks like here. And that is a swatch of that teal color. So I'm just going to start off with the downside of these eyeliners, and because it's the only gripe that I have with them, is that they tend to dry out very quickly. I'm sure that you noticed that some of them had a slit down the middle, and that's the only thing that kind of sucks about these shadows, is that they do dry out quickly. So this kind of leads into my next product, I guess, that I have from Inglot, and that is Duraline. And this is just kind of similar to Foil Me from Glamour Doll Eyes or the Kryolan Cake Eyeliner Sealer. They're sort of similar in a sense that this helps to make the eyeliners into kind of a more liquid form. So I actually used it for the teal one because it was a little bit hard to swatch. I don't know if you guys can see that there, but you see how it's a little bit wet, and it comes out very easy. Show you. So it just makes it much, much easier to get the product out, because these do tend to get very hard when they dry out. But once you use the Duraline, they're just as good as they were when you first bought them. So it's not a reason to throw them out at all. I would just highly, highly recommend purchasing the Duraline when you purchase the eyeliners. So that's just my recommendation. I found that it works. I haven't had any problems with the eyeliners running at all when I use the Duraline. It just kind of seals them and makes it a little bit easier for you to use them if they do get hardened up. But the things that I absolutely love about these eyeliners are, one, that they're matte, and as you can see, they're very, very, very pigmented. So it's just amazing to me how pigmented these are. My first eyeliner that was a kind of cream or gel eyeliner was the MAC Black Track Fluid Line, and although I do still like that one, I just find that the black number 77 is just so much more pigmented with Inglots, and you just can't get any darker than that. It's just such a deep, rich black, and I just find that it's amazing for working with winged eyeliner, and it just really adds so much more depth to a look. Okay guys, so that is it for my Inglot collection. I hope that you guys liked it, and please make sure to check out my Facebook and Twitter. I have those links down below, and also check out my blog, which I also have linked down below. Okay guys, I will talk to you all soon. Bye.